Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get started with selling on Whatnot. Now, this video is going to be particularly useful for individuals. Let's say that you recently heard of Whatnot and you want to start selling some Pokemon cards on there. How do you actually go ahead about doing so? Now, before we begin, I do invite you to sign up with my Whatnot link down below in the description. Once you do sign up, you'll receive up to $150 in bonus rewards as you start selling on Whatnot. Now, let's go ahead and first open up Whatnot, assuming that you've already created a login. The way that Whatnot works is that you can sell through multiple methods. You can sell items directly, or you can set up auction games, or you could actually set up surprise sets. So in order to schedule your first Whatnot show, all you need to do is click on the Seller Hub, click on Schedule a Show, and then from here, you just need to name your show. So we're just going to name our show Dollar Single Cards. Next, you're going to schedule your show for a certain date. So we'll schedule it for tomorrow at this time, and then we'll click on Done. Now you can add moderators if you're large enough, but if you're brand new, you most likely won't need them just because you can moderate yourself. Now for adding a thumbnail, all you've got to do is add a thumbnail and you can create this via Canva. Next, you want to select a primary category. So I'll just select Pokemon cards. Now the main thing when it comes to selling is that there's 3 primary selling formats. So if you click on the selling formats, for cards specifically, you can sell singles, you can sell breaks, which means that you have a booster box and you can break it up and sell each set individually or each booster pack individually. Or you have surprise sets in which Whatnot spins a wheel and people get random items. So for this primary selling format, we're just going to sell singles. Now for suggested tags, we can do newly release, vintage, and sudden death. I'll explain what sudden death is in just a moment. Now for the shipping settings, these are the shipping settings that I use when it comes to selling cards. So we have free pickup off, domestic shipments, we do USPS first class, and then USPS priority, and then USPS ground advantage. Now for the shipping costs, I normally do buyer pays all shipping costs and then save. For the explicit content, you can keep the off or on. You can add muted words. You can set your primary language. And you do want to make sure that your show discoverability is set to public unless you're setting a private show, and then click on schedule. Now, once you've scheduled your show, this is what it looks like when you're in the waiting room. In order to add a product, you need to click on shop on the bottom right-hand corner, and then click on the bottom right-hand corner, tap here to create new products. And we're going to create a temporary listing. So because we're selling single cards on Whatnot, let's first select our category, which is Pokemon cards. The condition we're going to set to near mint. And I normally don't fill out the rest of the stuff. Now for the title, we're just going to say single card. Click on done. Now you can either do a buy it now, but this is more for when people visit your profile and you want them to buy directly from your profile. Now for the auction, you can start at $1 bid. You can set the time limit to 10 seconds. For the number of cards you have, I always recommend entering a quantity that's higher than the number of cards that you have. And then for the shipping profile, I usually set this to 1 ounce just because a card weighs about 1 ounce. Now, sudden death, the difference between a regular auction and sudden death is that in a regular auction, when someone bids, it adds around like 2 or 3 seconds to the timer. So notice how my time limit is 10 seconds and then it starts to count down. If someone bids, it'll add an additional time to my timer. Sudden death means that it counts down to 0 no matter how many people bid. Sudden death saves you a lot of time, but auction takes a bit more time because every time someone bids, it basically adds more time to the timer. Now, hazardous materials, keep that off and then click on add listing. So now that we have our card here, you could actually click on the 3 dots next to it, then click on edit listing. And you could add a photo of the back of your cards and you could also add a description here. So let's say in dear mint conditions, click on done. And then click on Save Changes. The next thing that we'll do is that you want to click on the thumbtack icon just so that your product gets pinned. And now this is what it'll look like. Now people will see the product at the bottom of your screen. So that's essentially how to schedule a show. And then tomorrow at 2:46, you could actually go ahead and start your show a bit early if you wanted to. Now the other thing is that you're going to see this sticky note here that says show notes. This is normally when I input like the description of the show and how my show works. So whether it's a regular auction, what cards I'm selling, maybe I'm doing a surprise set show, this is where I'll put that information. Now, if we go back, you do want to make sure that you set up your profile. And so you want to click on account on the bottom right-hand corner, and then you want to click on view profile. And then this is where you're going to add your profile and edit it. So you can basically add some descriptions. You can add your profile image. So we click on edit profile. You can change your username. You can change your bio. You could add a cover image as well. So multiple things as far as adding your profile goes. And then the last thing I want to do is that if you click on Seller Hub and then click on the hamburger icon on the top right-hand corner, oh, sorry, not the hamburger icon, just scroll down. You're going to see 4 different buttons. One says payouts, one says orders, one says inventory, one says rehearsal mode. Rehearsal mode is good if it's your first time streaming. You can actually see what it's look like and what the screen looks like, and you can play around with the buttons. If you click on orders, that's going to show the orders of all the cards that have been ordered from your previous shows. So if you click on that, you can see here that I've sold a few cards. It's in transit. Earnings are processing still. You can see how much I sold it for, the date, and then how much I actually earned from that card. And then for payouts, you can click on payouts and you can see that I have a certain amount available for payout. And then you can start a payout if you wanted to. But that's pretty much it though, guys, as far as how to get started with selling on Whatnot. And again, if you haven't signed up for Whatnot just yet, you can use my link down below in order to sign up. And once you do, you'll get $150 in match credit while you're within your first month of selling. But thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.